Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Fearless Friday video. And today I'm going to be kind of piggybacking off last week's video where I talked about the 3 phases of love and identified each of those 3 phases. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about how each person shows up within the marriage when the marriage is starting to become stagnant. So typically this could be and what we were talking about last week, a phase 2 kind of marriage where there's really a lack of polarity and kind of this 50-50 deal going on here. So typically a lot of people in marriage, before they go to the divorce place, right, there's this place of stagnicity. And this is when each person is dying inside and yearning for more, okay? And they're not really being honest with each other about this. So there can tend to be a glassing over of things, maybe to save face. You're probably, keeping busy. The woman's probably busy raising the children, the young children at this stage. Or, if she doesn't have children, she's investing in her own career and, spending time with her friends and trying to busy herself. And the man is trying to figure out his purpose, working on his career, etc. And there can just be stagnant time going on here. And typically this kind of evokes a response in either partner. So let's start with the man first, because I really do believe that the masculine energy is, really important in the relationship and shows up in a certain way. So in this stage, the man can be very shallow and have a lack of presence. Okay, so typically a man in this stage is really trapped in his own mind and his thoughts because he has a lack of purpose and direction for his life. So he's lost touch with his direction, he's lost touch with his purpose, maybe something fell apart in his career, maybe he is at a point where he doesn't even know what he's doing with his career, he doesn't know what his true purpose and calling on this earth is. And when a man has this feeling, he feels unsettled. And nothing really hurts a man's heart more than the feeling he doesn't know his purpose, his heart's purpose. Or if he does know this purpose, he's afraid to live it. So that's a quote from David Data, who I spoke about in the last week's video. But this feeling hurts a man's heart, literally, because he doesn't know what his calling is. And so he may be grasping, looking for different jobs, looking for different ideas of what he could be doing, but he really is directionless. And he either has settled for the mediocrity of his life, he's given himself some shallow goals, and he's kind of just numbed himself. He's settled into this existence of this wife, this life, this house, that it really has nothing to do with you as a woman. It could be fine, he could be completely happy with you, but if he feels directionless and purposeless, this isn't going to feel good to you, okay? So this could feel like he's lost, he's suffering, and he's wasting his life. And when a man is in this zone, he tends to just not show up for you. He isn't emotionally invested. He could be, still interested in having sex, but you can feel that he's not physically present with you. He's not engaging with you. Your emotions to him seem like something else he just has to handle. He's overwhelmed already, and it feels like more work to come home to you. So he kind of shuts down, and he doesn't really know how to engage with your heart or your emotions, and he's really just focused in his mind a lot about what his direction and purpose is. So a man at this stage is not able to claim you. He's not able to show up fully because he's protecting himself and he's building up his own walls, and he's kind of ignoring his heart's direction and purpose to play it safe. And this can feel deeply unsatisfying for him. On the other side, at this stage, the woman can be suffering immensely emotionally because she's just yearning for her man to connect with her, to reach out and to touch her heart, to touch her, not just physically, which a man can do easily, but a woman typically doesn't want to be touched physically if her heart is not being touched. So when his presence is not there, her heart is very much connected to his. Even though he can kind of disconnect that a little bit more, she can feel that energy and that lack of connection. And this causes her to fill with, hurt. And she's hurt by this distance that's being created, these walls that are going up. And oftentimes, if she has not done her work, from her childhood and from these things that might be rooted in her, she has a really strong emotional reaction. So I find women tend to show up two different ways in this stage. Either they have really strong emotional reactions, they're very needy and clingy and demanding and, outbursts and very upset, or they kind of put a wall up and shut down and kind of learn to deal that I'm just going to close down my feelings and just accept that this is the way it is. And again, they're kind of ignoring their heart's purpose, which is to be deeply connected as well. And so this is when a woman can tend to shut down sexually, and she's not open sexually in her body, she's not open in her heart. All these parts of her body actually tend to harden and can even get a disease or a sickness because they're not being stimulated and cared for in the right way. So she can actually kind of be disgusted by his lack of presence, his lack of direction, his lack of heart depth, and this hurt can actually turn to anger. And when it turns to anger, this is when women tend to take action towards divorce because they're just tired of dealing with it. He's not there, he's not present, etc. And she'll tend to nag him to get him to show up, kind of just hammering home to him that he's not living in his purpose, and she knows it. So you can see how when these two dynamics are going on, neither person is getting basically where they need to go within their own heart, and it's also very damaging to the relationship. And a lot of decisions can be made in this point that are not helpful, and this is where divorce can happen. So divorce doesn't just wake up one morning and like, I'm done, I'm out of here. This is a slippery slope, and it can be gradual and basically through complacency and just a lack of heart connection. So I wanted to share some of these signs with you. Basically, if you're in my community and you already are going through a divorce, some of this might resonate with you, and you can be like, yeah, Amanda, this is great, but it's too late. I already got a divorce. I'm done with that person. Well, my goal here is not just to help people who are navigating divorce and the pain that goes with that, but also maybe helping people prevent it from happening in the first place. And this is a wake-up call. Okay, I'm giving you a wake-up call. If you're listening to this video and you're resonating with what I'm saying, I'm asking you to wake up, because your marriage cannot survive on autopilot. And if you have done this and you have gone through divorce, the guarantee is until you fix this and you allow yourself to open again and you figure out how to move to phase 3, stage 3 of love, and you heal your love wounds, you're probably going to repeat it again with another person. And I just want to invite you to think about moving in a direction towards something different. So if you're in a relationship right now and this resonates with you, I would love for you to get on the phone with me and we can talk about ways how to move to stage 3 of love and how to engage each other's hearts and how to wake up from this stagnant place, okay? Because it doesn't have to stay here. And if you've already been through a divorce and you're already, moved on from that person and you resonate with what I'm saying and realize this is a lot of how you felt in this relationship, I want to encourage you to also reach out to me, because I can help you as well to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Because the majority of people who go through a divorce, the percentage is just as high for a second divorce and then a third divorce, unless something shifts. So I say this often, if you are this puzzle piece, unless you change this puzzle piece, the same puzzle piece is going to keep coming into match with you. It's not the other person, okay? It's you. And this isn't just directed to men or just directed to women. Both are responsible. Men are equally responsible for finding their heart's purpose and opening up their heart to be able to engage with their woman and to claim her and to be able to invite her into deep intimacy with him. That's huge. Okay, but women are just as equally responsible in learning to be vulnerable, because the point is when your man is in that place, if you don't know how to navigate that, you can cause some severe damage with belittling him, operating in your masculine, and basically destroying and sabotaging your relationship. Okay, so there needs to be work done on either parts, and I want to help you with that work and offer you a chance to get on the phone with me to book a clarity call, which is free, 20-minute assessment call. If you don't want to get on the phone, you just want to send me an email, you can do that at lovemetamorphosis.com, at gmail.com. You can also visit my website, lovemetamorphosis.com, and I have great articles and blogs there on all sorts of topics surrounding love, divorce, heartbreak, and more. So thank you for tuning in to this Fearless Friday video. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and it is filled with heart-open love. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.